Alright, what is up guys? Welcome back to another Path of Exile 2 video here. Today we're going to be taking a look at my Titan. I've redone this build, so we will go ahead and jump into a map here and I'll kind of show you what it looks like. Just need to kind of figure out exactly... Oh, that's kind of trippy looking. Have to play on DirectX 11 so I can record. Don't know if this is like an artifact from DirectX 11, but it's definitely interesting. Let's go ahead and find a map here. So we'll add Breach, and we'll go ahead and jump into this. So before I was playing with basically a supercharged slam build, and the clear speed of that is kind of slow. So I've created something a little different. Let me just make sure. Okay, I think everything is good to go. So I've switched it over to be like a leap slam build, but then also we utilize shield wall to get our armor stacks and break armor. Oh. And I really wish they would fix this so that we could record in DirectX 12. We still do have Supercharged Slam on the toolbar, just because it is nice when you're fighting either a boss or sometimes a rare to just be able to blast them and one-shot them. But mostly I can one-shot everything with just Leap Slam, and the clear speed is a lot quicker. The nice thing with shield wall, it does like crazy amounts of damage, and it also, I have it set up to shatter armor, and then when we consume that shattered armor with Leap Slam, I have one of those new lineage support gems that increases the physical damage that enemies take by 2% each time permanently. So if you are fighting like a higher level boss or enemy that is going to take a little bit additional time to kill, it is going to, you know, increase the amount of speed that you can kill them. Oops. It's not difficult for me to maintain my armor stacks. Sometimes, like if I'm not taking damage, I may just like plow through without even really worrying about it. We do use a little bit of rage, so I've got the tier 3 like rage generator support on my Leap Slam, because it does give you extra speed. Like it's a more multiplier, which is really nice, and it also generates rage, like 5 rage per hit, so that is a more multiplier as well, just for your total damage. So always nice to have more multipliers. And as far as like the mapping goes, like the clear speed is really good. I haven't had any issues with survivability. I am only up to tier 9 maps though, so that also could be part of it. We're up to about 2600 life, and that is with Titan's Grip, or yeah, I think that's what it's called in this, Titan's Grip, or Giant's Blood, sorry.
I need more time.
It really man, it's really laggy on DirectX 11. This is just terrible. Almost unplayable. Really wish I could record on one of the other things. Like, the game runs just amazing on DirectX 12. This is almost like unplayable on DirectX 11. almost can't even tell what's happening. Luckily, it's my gosh. Luckily, it's a pretty like basic build where like I just really need to click like 1 or 2 buttons, so this isn't too big of a problem as far as like piloting the build. Okay. I think it stopped lagging enough I can try and cast a shield wall. Holy crap.
I can't yet.
I don't fully understand how some of these guys work, because it's like sometimes you hit them and they don't take any damage. Don't totally understand it. Good grief. That was just awful.
Spoils of war.
Hopefully we don't run into that again.
I've nowhere to keep that.
We'll go up here and I'll kill the boss real quick, and I'll show you just, you know, breakdown of the build with the gear, and we'll call it a video.
No lock is unbreakable. Fear will best you.
So all in all, with like all our buffs, we've got around 22k just armor applied to physical hits, and then we've got about 44k applied to elemental damage. Could be higher. Like I said, I'll show you the gear, but it's, you know, still could be upgraded.
What is it?
We need to collect more. I have many services. Collect more otherworldly remnants.
I really like the change with the amount of portals. So just going in and out to like sell stuff doesn't affect your portals anymore. That's really nice. I'm kind of curious, like, are you guys going to be playing PoE 1 with the new patch that came out? Are you just not really interested in PoE 1? Do you play both games? So you can see how as we break his armor and consume it, he starts getting that increased damage modifier that he's taking. So go ahead and show you the gear here real quick. So this I bought. I did not craft this. Pretty solid weapon. It does get extra damage as lightning. I think most of the time you see it as fire. And I opted for the increased attack speed on it just because Leap Slam is affected by attack speed, so important to have Leap Slam. I think the extra damage as lightning is kind of nice because when you do get the shocks, like that's an increased like total damage modifier, so it does increase your damage by a significant amount. I could see it being better possibly as physical or as fire, like just for straight maybe single target hits, or if you're trying to do something with burn or with bleed. Physical damage is nice just because you can kind of make it ignore like damage reduction fairly easy, whereas elemental damage takes a little bit more investment. This helmet would be the next thing I would upgrade, and it's something that I found through the campaign. It just happened to have, you know, like a decent amount of armor on it, and I just haven't had the chance to replace it. This I also found during the campaign. Did a little bit of crafting on it. I think I added maybe one modifier to it, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I may have just slammed an exalt onto it. This shield I bought and then added a modifier, the life modifier, to it. I think I bought it for just a couple exalts, so, you know, pretty good buy. I think I also purchased this, you know, got the life leech. This I found in the campaign, but it just has good resists. And this I did purchase, so it's got, you know, couple life modifiers on it, so it's got pretty good. Or no, sorry, I'm thinking of my last one, but it's got a hybrid life armor modifier, and then the strength. I had to get some additional strength in order to be able to use this weapon. Purchase these gloves. Again, you need life and mana leech. Kind of makes the build work. This belt I purchased for fairly cheap, as well as these boots. And here's the flasks that I'm using. I could increase the quality on these, I just haven't got around to it. So that's kind of what that looks like. As far as like gym setup, I don't really use Mace Strike at all, but I have a couple gems in it. I don't really know what else I could put into Raise Shield, but Raise Shield I used a lot through the campaign and kind of like early mapping, but I don't really need it anymore. Occasionally I'll use it, like if I take a big hit and I'm just like waiting for my life to regen, but I don't really typically use it. We've got Time of Need, so compressed duration actually increases how often it heals you, so that's good. We've got Fortifying Cry, and that I just kind of use as an extra way to pop the shield walls when I need to, or I don't really know if I'll keep this or not, but I did used to use this skill, Forge Hammer, quite a bit, like especially during the campaign and early mapping, but now that I've changed the build over to like Leap Slam and Shield Wall, I haven't really been finding myself using it very much. I kind of just forget it's there, but I should probably use it a little more, or maybe I'll switch it out potentially to another skill. And then we've got our Leap Slam here. So we've got Holy Descent just because it's a really good like defensive option. You could switch it out if you just wanted a little more damage, but I don't feel like it's gonna increase my clear speed very much. We've got the Rage 3 here for the 15% more attack speed, as well as generating the Rage. We've got Magnified Area 1, just again for clear speed, Rapid Attacks for again clear speed and damage, and then Crater. I feel like the Fissures actually do help quite a bit, especially when you're clearing. So like if I slam here, and you know, then slam over here, you get a pretty big area of just effect that, you know, you start hitting stuff. And again, like when you use it with this, you know, it lets you proc it from farther away. You don't have to necessarily be standing right on top of it to get those fissures to pop. So it you know, this again could potentially be switched out, but I tried it and I felt like my clear speed was still faster with Crater, and I haven't fully been able to determine if the Craters can shotgun. So like if I Leap Slam like right on top of something and it gets hit by 2 or 3 of the craters. I haven't 100% determined if it shotguns, but if it does, again, that's going to be a damage boost. And the fissures do 35% of your default attack damage, so I think the damage is not like insignificant. And then again, we've got scavenged plating just for the more armor, and here we've got shield wall, so it does a ton of damage when you think about it. So when you activate it, it does 100% more damage. So take this total damage and double it, and that's how much it's going to do when I pop it. So we've got Uruk's Smelting for the more armor break as well as the permanent damage increase. We've got Armor Break 3 just to make it actually break armor. Then we've got Heft 2 again, more damage, more armor break because physical damage. Heavy Swing again for more damage and more armor breaking. And then we've got Close Combat just because without it, again, more damage. Anything that's close to me just does a lot of damage. So then we've got Magma Barrier. Not a whole lot going on there other than it helps me hit max block. And I feel like the max block is a very beneficial defensive stat because it's blocks every damage type, including spells. So it's just basically I have 55%, I think 54% block. So more than half of the damage I take is just completely negated. That's huge. So then we've got Forge Barrier, Rage Forged to consume some of the rage, just to allow me to like rage dump a little bit, possibly, if I want to get that more attack speed multiplier. And then we've got Infernal Cry, which is, you know, just a big damage boost to your skills. And then Supercharged Slam, I switched it up a little bit so that it could take advantage of the elemental attacks, because before I had it just with Ruthless, and then that would negate any elemental damage. So we've got Aftershock 2, Heavy Swing, Heft, Rage Forged, and Burgeon. So it does quite a bit of damage. And it's just a fun skill to use, like when you stun a boss and you just stand there and hit him with that, and it chunks like 2/3 or 3/4 of their HP. That's a pretty nice feeling. So that is the gym setup. Here is the skill tree currently that I have. So we took some of the block nodes. I went with the armor nodes over the damage, which if you wanted to, you could get these damage nodes here. Possibly it's worth it. Right now, though, it would require a couple extra levels for me to do that. Otherwise, I'd have to spec out of like some of the stuff further down in the tree. So we went up here for Smash and Reverberating Impact. Took Blade Catcher. If you're going armor, this is like a must-have ability. We allocated this with our amulet just to get a little extra block, and it's cheap to put on your amulet over here for the extra life and area of effect and slam chance. We spec'd out of this because we're not using heavy stun to break armor anymore. This is a very nice like damage increase. So you can see it's, you know, about a, you know, almost a 10%, almost increases your damage by 10%, like more. This is a nice defensive, just defensive and offensive cluster. And then same thing over here. We're using these shield nodes to give us a huge damage boost. So I like using these for the damage versus the mace nodes, because the mace nodes have reduced attack speed. So it's kind of like a, you know, a net negative in a way, especially for using Leap Slam. We came up here, again, more armor, maces for slam, Aftershock chance, strength boost, extra damage, and again, Giant's Blood. Down here, pick this up just for some extra defensive options. We came over here to get the 5% increased maximum life, plus the extra strength, and then down here for the extra attributes, which potentially I could spec out of this down the road if I really wanted to, but it is nice to have those extra just like base stats for your gems and not having to take up the affixes on your gear. If I wanted to get more defensive options, next I would get iron reflexes and then come down, let's see, down here. So just nice extra flat armor that you would gain. So basically it would double the armor from your gloves. So if you had like, you know, a high armor pair of gloves, that would give you a really nice like extra flat armor boost. That's gonna then be, you know, multiplied by all your other armor modifiers. I didn't really feel like getting a ton more armor would be necessary. But obviously, like, the more you get, the better that it is. And then up here for our Ascendancy, I went with the Hulking form and the Ancestral Empowerment, just because I like the boosted slams. You could just go Hulking form and get Mysterious Lineage and Stone Skin if you wanted to. It would give you more armor, more life, more survivability, but I feel like with my high block chance, basically like over max block chance, I'm very survivable as it is, at least where I'm at currently in the game. If I felt like, you know, another 400 life would make or break my character and a little bit more armor, then maybe it would be worth it. But I think the extra clear speed and damage you get with these is probably, with the shield setup, worth the trade-off. If you were not using Giant's Blood, then this would probably be better. The other thing too is that Giant's Blood halves the life you gain from strength, so it makes the Mysterious Lineage not quite as effective. So I think these would be better if you were just going without Giant's Blood. But I think with Giant's Blood, I prefer this setup. So that's the build, guys. That's the new build. Thanks for tuning in. Haven't been playing as much lately as I was before, so leave, you know, a like down there, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Helps me out. Gives me a little bit more motivation to keep coming up with the builds. So thanks again, guys, and remember to give them the D.